Hello BookTube, Sarah here, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with my anticipated reads for December 2017. I have 10 books here that I want to talk about that are coming out next month in December, and I'm very excited about all of them. I realize that when I do these and when I do my book hauls, I generally don't know a lot about the books that I'm buying. I know I want to read it, but I might not know everything about it. And I think what I'm going to start doing is like reading you guys like the back of the book essentially, you know, as best as I can, or maybe just parts of it, just to give you guys a better idea of what these books are about. So we will start off with coming out December 1st is a book that both interests me a great deal and terrifies me at the same time. When I saw that this was coming out, I happened upon it on Amazon. I was like, I don't know. I mean, at first I thought I really want to read that, but then I started thinking, is that going to be like hard to read about? And this is a topic that I think pretty much about everybody has dealt with at some point or another. So the book is called Anesthesia, The Gift of Oblivion and the Mystery of Consciousness. And this is by Kate Cole Adams. So again, let me just read you the back of the book here. 170 years ago, many people would have chosen to die rather than to undergo an ordeal of surgery. Today, even major operations are routine. Anesthesia has made them possible. But how much do we really know about what happens when we go under? Can we hear what's going on around us? Is pain still pain if we're not awake to feel it, or don't remember it afterward? How does the unconscious mind deal with the body's experience of being cut open and ransacked? And what happens to those rare patients who wake up under the knife? Haunting, lyrical, sometimes shattering, Anesthesia leavens science with personal experience and brings us an intensely human curiosity to the unknown realm beyond consciousness. This, like I said, terrifies me. As someone who has been under 6 or 7 times, I think, 3 major for my open hearts. I've been like, you know, when I first read a number of years ago about people waking up while under anesthetic, but not being able to tell the doctor that they're awake, essentially their mind is awake but their body is not, I would break out in a cold sweat just thinking about it now. It's making me nervous and raising my heart rate, I guarantee you. Nothing terrifies me more. And that's why I'm so interested in reading this book, because it's a topic I'm very familiar with. But, you know, things like that, and that's why this book seems immensely interesting to me, but on the other hand, terrifying. I think it's not out on audio from what I can tell. I looked on Audible and it's not there. So I'm hoping maybe it will be coming out, and I might hold off until then to actually read it, but we shall see. So enough about that one. Let's jump into the next book. This book comes out December 5th, and it's called No Place Like You by Emma Douglas. This is book number 3 in the Cloud Bay series. It is Leah Santelli always knew Zach Harper, son of a rock legend, and her best friend's brother was painfully out of reach. Then on the night of her 18th birthday, Leah shocked herself by asking for and receiving the gift she wanted. One night of passion with Zach before he left town to pursue his rocket star dreams. And years later now he's back. So it sounds like a second chance romance. So it should be really good. I love the cover, and, you know, I love me some good romance. The next book, also coming out December 5th, is Can't Get Enough by Gena Showalter. This is the 6th book in the original Heartbreaker series. I think I've read 1 book in the series already. And it says, New York Times bestselling author Gena Showalter returns with a sizzling original Heartbreaker's tale, featuring a rough, tough bad boy brought to his knees by a kindergarten teacher. So, talk about opposites attracting. So that should be a really cute one too, and a very spicy cover, I might add. Next book, coming out December 12th. I do not want to talk about this one very much. I haven't even read the back of the book. But I have the first book on my wish list in this series, and the second book is called Killman Creek by Rachel Caine. It's the second book in the Stillhouse Lake series. It's about a woman in the first book who was terrorized by a serial killer. And again, I don't want to read too much about the second book, but the second book is coming out. I really need to read the first one. It really does sound interesting to me, so I might have to get on that early next year so I can then get into the second book. Next up, coming out December 18th, is A Season of Miracles by Heather Graham. I generally don't put reissues on my anticipated reads list, but this book originally came out in 2001. So this is the first time it's out now in ebook format, essentially. And It says, centuries ago in another lifetime, the man Gillian Llewellyn loved tried but failed to save her. Now in the season of miracle, two lost souls are being given a second chance. So it almost sounds like, now Heather Graham does this so well, this sort of paranormally off-kilter, magical realism, not even magical realism, but not your everyday love story. Like, this sounds like it's going to be two people who knew each other in a past life and now are coming back together again in this life to help each other, and it just sounds really great. It's actually a Christmas story. It takes place during the Christmas season, but it doesn't come out till the 18th of December. But I'm probably going to pre-order it and pick it up, and I might even read it over Christmas. Who knows? It's a standalone novel. Next up, coming out December 19th, is Cowboy Up, and that's by Harper Sloan. This is the third book in the Coming Home series. New York Times bestselling author Harper Sloan returns with this third in her sultry Western set Coming Home series, in which the eldest Davis sibling, Clay is only the kind of name that you're going to hear in a romance novel. I'm just kidding. If your name is Clay, I do apologize. May have finally met his match. But will he be able to give up the solitary, quiet life he's built in the name of love? So, typical Western cowboy romance. Sounds really good. She's a really great author. Looking forward to that one very much. The next book that's coming out on the 19th, I'm not too sure about this one. I have it on the list because every time I go and look at the pre-orders or the coming soon on Amazon, if you list it by popularity, this book is always on the first page and has been since I think it was announced that it was coming out. And that is The Hookup by Kristen Ashley. It's the first book in the Moonlight and Motor Oil series. So it is motorcycle romance. And it's, you know, about this couple and they have a hookup and they kind of, you know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And he can never fully give her his heart because he's still in love with someone from his past. And then that person ends up coming back. But the main girl, I think her name is Izzy in the story, she thinks that she'll have whatever bit of him she can possibly take. But then, like I said, then his first love comes into town and things go from there. So again, it's one I'm not 100% sure on. I was looking at some of the reviews on Goodreads that people have gotten advanced readers copies of them, and it's really split. Either people really liked it or people really haven't liked it. And this is an author I have never read before, but I've heard she's really good. So I might have to give it a shot and see. If you have read Kristen Ashley and you like her work and there's a book of hers that's your favorite or you really enjoyed it, please post in the comments below and let me know, and maybe I'll start there instead. Let's see here. Next up, coming out December 26th, is Come Home With Me by Susan Fox. This is, sorry, I'm just waiting for my tablet to load. It's so slow. You'd think I'd write other things down. This is the second book in the Blue Moon Harbor series. And it's essentially a small town romance. It says, it may be a dot in the Pacific Northwest, but tiny Blue Moon Harbor always has room for love. It's about a woman who's a high school dropout, and she flees to this town to restart her life, and, you know, kind of meets up with someone, and the relationship goes from there. It sounds really cute. I bought the first book when it came out because it looked like a really cute series, and I'm looking forward to getting the next one. Next up, I talked about this author in my recent weekly reads video, and that is Sonali Dev. She has a brand new book coming out, and it's called The Distant Heart. This comes out on December 26th. This is another one I want to read the full description for you guys for. It almost, a little bit of it sounds like that book that came out last year, the year before, called Everything, Everything by Nicholas Yoon, about a girl who had a rare disease and she had to kind of stay in a room. So, again, let me just read the back here. Her name means miracle in Sanskrit, and to her parents, that's exactly what she is. The first baby to survive after several miscarriages, Kimmy grows up in a mansion at the top of Mumbai's Pali Hill, surrounded by love and privilege. But at 11 years old, she develops a rare illness that requires her to be confined to a germ-free ivory tower in her home, with only the Arabian Sea churning outside her window for company, until one person dares ventures into her world. Tasked at 14 years old with supporting his family, Raoul Savat shows up to wash Kimmy's windows, and an unlikely friendship develops across the plastic curtain of her isolation room. As years pass, Raoul becomes Kimmy's eyes to the outside world, and she becomes his inspiration to better himself by enrolling in the police force. But when a life-saving heart transplant offers the chance of a real future, both must face the ties that face all that ties them together and keeps them apart. As Kimmy anticipates a new life, Raoul struggles with loving someone he may yet lose. And when his investigation into a black market organ ring run by a sociopathic gang lord exposes dangerous secrets that cut too close to home, only Raoul's deep, abiding connection with Kimmy can keep her safe and reveal the true meaning of courage, loss, and second chances. You didn't expect it to go there, did you? This lovely story about a girl who's sick and gets a heart transplant, then all of a sudden it's a black market. When I was reading the description the first time, I went, wow, that was unexpected. But it does sound really good. And like I said, I'm in love with this author now. And when I saw that she had a new book coming out, I immediately, this one is actually on pre-order. I generally don't pre-order books anymore, but this one absolutely went on pre-order. And the last book that I want to talk about that I also immediately put on pre-order, Kristen Higgins has a new book coming out on the 26th of December. And that is called Now That You Mention It. Another one I just want to quickly read the back of for you. Excuse me. One step forward, two steps back. The Tufts scholarship that put Nora Stewart on the path to becoming a Boston medical specialist was one step forward. Being hit by a car and then overhearing her boyfriend hit on another doctor while she thought she was dying, two major steps back. Injured in more ways than one, Nora feels her carefully built life cracking at the edges. There's only one place to land, home. But the tiny Maine community she left 15 years ago doesn't necessarily want her. At every turn, someone holds the prodigal daughter of Scupper Island responsible for small-town drama and big-time disappointments. With a tough Islander mother who's always been distant and a wild child sister in jail, unable to raise her daughter, a withdrawn teen as eager to ditch the island as Nora once was, Nora has her work cut out for her if she's going to take what might be her last chance to mend the family. But as some relationships crumble around her, others unexpectedly strengthen. Balancing loss and opportunity, a dark event from her past with hope for the future, Nora will discover that tackling old pain makes room for promise and the chance to begin again. Sounds so good. I really like the direction that Kristen Higgins has now taken with this more women's fiction as opposed to straight up contemporary romance. I love her contemporary romance. I absolutely adore it. She writes it like so well. But with this turning point, I'm really enjoying it as well too. I would like to see some more back to her straight up romance books. Perhaps some more books in the Blue Harbor series would be lovely. Is it Blue Harbor? I can't remember the name of the series now. I think it's the Blue Harbor series. But yeah, but this, again, this is another one that immediately, as soon as I saw it coming out, went right on pre-order. So anyway, guys, let me know in the comments below, are there any books that are coming out in December that you're excited about? Or do any of these books sound any good to you? Please let me know. And until my next video, guys, take care and happy reading. Bye.